Is it ready?
Yep.
Woo! He's back, baby. Welcome to the Fuzzy Loaf movie show, and I'm never taking this mask off.
All right.
Unless,
Scott.
okay, I'm taking it off. Ugh.
Hot and sweaty in there.
How's my hair? Let me fix it real quick.
Oh God.
There we go. All right. So if you haven't heard this week, Spider-Man is joining the MCU thanks to an unprecedented deal with Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I never thought this day would even come.
Yeah. I mean, well, there was leaks when the Sony hack happened that supposedly they were in talks, but everybody was like, "There's no way."
Yeah, a Latino review said too, like, it's gonna happen, guys. They said it back in like November.
Yeah. Huh? Latino review, right again.
Dang, they're crazy.
I don't know where they get their scoops.
Yeah, but Spider-Man is joining the MCU, or as the Marvel press release put it, the MCU is joining the Amazing World of Spider-Man.
Oh God.
Because it was all about saving face for Sony.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's hard to fight the fact that Spider-Man is probably Marvel's biggest superhero.
Oh, probably. He's the Batman for Marvel.
Yeah. I mean, he is massive, and it's a big win for Marvel.
It's a win. This is a no-lose situation for Marvel.
Yeah.
This whole deal.
And it's a no-lose situation for Sony because...
Well, except money. Marvel really isn't like...
Marvel is not taking a cut of the Spider-Man movies.
No.
Yeah. So
they got the character for free.
Yeah.
Whatever Sony does with their movies, it's like, they don't lose any money on, like, say the movies are bad.
Yeah, Marvel is getting it for free, but they're getting a massive character.
Yeah.
It's a great day for Spider-Man fans.
It's a great day and a great week.
Yeah.
But because Sony's not... It's okay. So if you don't know what the situation is, it's kind of weird. Let's just break it down real quick.
Yeah.
So according to the press release, Sony Pictures and Marvel are joining together to work on a character, pretty much.
Yeah.
Where Spider-Man will first appear in a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, most likely Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah.
Because they said he will appear in a Marvel movie first, and then he will have his own solo run
in 2017,
which was the original date of Thor Ragnarok.
Yep.
And so pretty much if he's going to be introduced in a Marvel movie first, it has to be Civil War.
Well, yeah, because
Doctor Strange.
They've already wrapped on
Ant-Man, and Age of Ultron comes out in like 2 months.
Yeah, there's no way unless their appearance is just like a tag at the end of the credits.
Which even then, like, I doubt that would count, because I'm sure they want. What I heard about Civil War months ago was that there were 2 copies of the script.
Yeah,
one with Spider-Man, one without Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them doing it. I mean,
they haven't started filming Captain America: Civil War yet. It starts in, I think, April in Atlanta. So there's that. So Spider-Man will be part of the Marvel movies, but then when he has his own solo movies, those will be produced solely by Sony Pictures.
Yes, but with Kevin Feige
as a producer.
Yeah, and I swear I remember reading the new director for the supposed Spider-Man standalone, but I don't remember who it is off the top of my head.
It was rumored to be Drew Goddard, who was going to do a Sinister Six movie.
Yeah.
He actually left Daredevil to work on Sinister Six.
Yeah. Well, this also brings up another good point, that Sony is supposedly not halting production on Sinister Six
and Venom, which I think is a load of crap.
Yeah. I mean, unless they find a way to integrate it with the Marvel Cinematic Universe in some way, like, I get they may not want to use Marvel characters, but if they just acknowledge that it's in the same world, because how do you have a Venom movie or a Sinister Six movie without Spider-Man? And how do you have Spider-Man in both series without it being connected in the same universe?
Yeah, and you have to take the time. You should wait on those movies. Take the time to introduce those characters properly.
What are the dates for those movies? Do we know?
They don't even have dates for them anymore. They just said they're work ahead with them.
Yeah.
But so it's going to be, if Sony is smart. So in the press release, they also mentioned that Sony will have final creative control.
Yeah.
Which I also think is a load of crap. Technically, yes, they'll have final creative control, but if they don't just listen to whatever Kevin Feige says, it's just not a smart move for them, because Kevin, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
they've just been in trouble with this franchise because they don't know how to properly take care of it. Listen to Feige, and if you don't listen to Feige, you're kind of screwing yourselves over.
I think it's just to save public face. I don't
Oh,
think they have
that's
final
exactly
say.
what it is.
I think Marvel has more say in it than they want to, or than Sony wants to let on.
If Marvel's coming aboard, like, okay, if we're gonna help you, because that's basically all that's happening with this is Marvel's gonna help Sony get their shit together, and in return, Marvel's or Sony's letting them use Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, and Kevin Feige, I think, is taking on an executive producer role for the Spider-Man standalone film.
No,
but without
producer,
pay.
not
Just,
executive
okay,
producer.
so just producer. But still, he's taking on the role, and he's not getting any pay for the movie.
Any pay?
Yeah, he's not getting any credit. I can't remember where I read it in an article. I want to say it was on IGN. I might even have it on my phone, but he's not getting so like usually for union wages you would get like a producer's credit. He's not getting the money, and he's not getting compensation for it. He's doing it essentially for free just to make sure that they don't screw it up,
because they want this character, because having Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is nothing but a win.
Well, yeah,
it's really just like more money for Marvel. They was be scooping it up.
Yeah, well, it's Spider-Man. I mean, Spider-Man's bigger than like Wolverine and X-Men and like all that stuff.
Yeah,
so it's
easily.
like if Marvel even has slight control over that, I think that's a huge deal.
Yeah. So this is just a crazy, unprecedented deal that no one thought was ever going to happen in probably a million years.
Yeah.
So, but here's what the thing with the new Spider-Man deal is. Since it's Spider-Man is now coming out on, what is the date they said it was?
The new Spider-Man
July 28th,
2017. Yeah.
So they're pushing back a bunch of movies now. So Thor Ragnarok will now come out on November 3rd, 2017.
Yeah.
After the original date of July 26th, 2017. What did we just say?
28th.
28th.
Yeah.
One of those 20-somethings. And then Black Panther is now being moved to July 6th, 2018. Captain Marvel will come out on November 2nd, 2018. And finally, The Inhumans will come out on July 12th, 2019.
So are things getting pushed back like calendar year wise, or are they just cramming in more movies in those years?
Pushing them back.
Well, I know they're getting pushed back. What I'm saying is, like, are they making it consistent with their 2 movies a year until like 2018 and then 3 after that? Okay. I just wasn't sure.
Now, the thing with this is like that we can take away from this is that Avengers Infinity War Part 1 is still coming out on May 4th, 2018.
Yeah.
And Part 2 coming out on May 3rd, 2019. So that means Black Panther will be coming out. Black Panther and Captain Marvel will be coming out after Infinity War Part 1.
Oh.
And Inhumans is coming out after Infinity War Part 2.
That's weird. How are they gonna?
So that kind of can let us know what their plans are for the story.
So they're gonna maybe there will be small introductions in the in Infinity War,
or their solo films will take place slightly differently than we.
Yeah, they won't be as much origin driven.
Yeah,
I would imagine, at least.
Well, they said no more origin stories.
But like, how do you do that for Captain Marvel or Black Panther?
Captain Marvel needs an origin story.
Yeah, where
Captain Marvel doesn't really, or Black Panther doesn't really need an origin story. They can just be like, he's the Black Panther.
Well, he's
a king. It's a title passed down to the king of Wakanda.
Well, it's just like he's a character that nobody knows.
Right.
So they have to kind of introduce him in like
they don't need to show his origin, but they'll introduce his character. And like,
yeah, I suppose
probably through exposition. Like
that'll probably
who
happen.
He is, what he does.
Yeah, that'll probably happen. Captain America Civil War still.
That's what I think is going to happen to Spider-Man. They're not going to show him being bitten by the spider, Uncle Ben die anymore. They'll just be like, it could be like a montage.
Yeah, well,
or it'll be explained through exposition, like when they're like Spider-Man's talking to Iron Man and be like, "Oh, I was bitten by a spider. My uncle died. Great power comes great responsibility."
I don't think any of that has to happen. I think the general movie-going public has seen this 2 times now in the last 10 years. I don't think they need to introduce him at all like that. I think the perfect introduction would be
have him swing by and like, who's this kid?
Either swing by or like have because Marvel loves doing this in the background on like a TV, just show like, you know, masked vigilante in New York, you know, and just
show some like Daily Bugle headlines.
Yeah, and just introduce him like that until they run into him. And I think Civil War is a great place for him to be introduced.
because it's showing the rise of these heroes,
Yeah.
which is the whole cause of the Civil War.
Although I don't think he's going to take on the same role that he does in the comics. I
No.
don't think he's going to be like
he's not going to out himself.
Yeah, because
in the comics, he unmasks like, I'm Peter Parker. I've been Spider-Man since I was 15 years old.
Okay, maybe we should talk about this before we get too far. So we have casting news. They want to go with a younger, somebody who's younger, because Garfield is like 31.
31.
So the rumors are Dylan O'Brien on the left, like this guy, and then Logan Lerman. So Dylan O'Brien was he was the star in Maze Runner. He was one of the co-stars in Teen Wolf, the show on MTV. And then we have Logan Lerman, who is the lead on Perks of Being a Wallflower and Percy Jackson movies that I think that's called Percy
both
Jackson.
movies I don't watch.
Yeah.
Both young adult franchises that I don't care
You didn't
about.
see the Perks of Being a Wallflower?
I did see that. But like Maze Runner and Percy Jackson.
Yeah. But
those aren't for me.
This brings up a good point, and one of the reasons why I don't think his character is going to be the same as in Civil War, because in Civil War in the comics, he is like older Spider-Man, he's been around
late
for a long time.
20s or something like that.
This is supposedly they're going back to Spider-Man being in high school. So this means we're probably going to have Gwen Stacy again.
That's fine. Some of Spider-Man's best stories. Did you ever watch the Spectacular Spider-Man TV series?
I might have. I watched it depends on when it was on.
It takes place about it was like a Saturday morning cartoon like 10 years ago, like a few years ago, 7 years ago.
I probably didn't then. I watched a lot of Spider-Man when I was a kid, but
it takes really place mostly where Spider-Man's in high school, and it's got Gwen Stacy. And
well, I think that's a good age for him to be at.
For the movies, I think that's great, because you have this young kid with Iron Man and Captain America, these older established heroes, and he's kind of looking up to them. It'll be an interesting dynamic.
He'll look up to them, but I think he'll also keep his like smart ass edge. He's gonna be witty. He's gonna. I feel like Captain America is, Captain America's gonna. No, not Captain America. Iron Man is, because he's the one that's for registration, and Captain America's not.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I feel like Iron Man is.
So, but then, do we think Spider-Man
is
Spider-Man going to be on Iron Man's side like he was in the comics, or do you think he'll be on Captain America's side?
I think he'll be on Captain America,
or just torn through the middle, like a child of divorce stuck between two parents.
I don't know. Maybe. It depends on where they put him, like in the Spider-Man universe. If he's with Gwen Stacy, I think he'll be for his secret identity, because that'll keep her safe. If Uncle Ben is still around, maybe.
Well, Uncle Ben has to die before he becomes Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is I don't think this movie is going to show him becoming Spider-Man. I think he's going to be
Spider-Man. Already be Spider-Man. So Uncle Ben will be dead already.
Doesn't Uncle Ben die after he gets bit by the spider?
Yes, but he hasn't taken up the role of Spider-Man until after Uncle Ben dies.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
I'm the comics nerd. I know this stuff.
I think it depends on where he is in his storyline, where they launch him off from, which side he'll take, and maybe he will still be in the middle. But I think they would be remiss to remove Black Panther's role. Like Black Panther in the movie,
I still think Black Panther is going to be in Civil War. It might be slightly diminished.
Yeah, I think his role will be slightly smaller than it was planned to be, but I think he'll still be the one that's kind of torn between. You know what I mean? I think he's going to play the middle ground. I think that's the best way to introduce Black Panther and not have him just be a background character that doesn't really matter. Yeah. Because I feel like Spider-Man will outshine everybody in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, we didn't really talk about these casting choices.
Well, here's the thing I want to talk about first.
Okay.
Everyone's talking about, why not Miles Morales? Have him be Spider-Man, all that stuff. The reason we're talking Peter Parker, which is not that I don't want Miles. I really want to see Miles in a movie. But the Marvel press release said
it's
Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They said we're excited to examine this part of Peter Parker's story and stuff like that. They specifically said Peter Parker.
Yeah. Well, and everybody wants Miles Morales because they want Donald Glover to play Miles.
But Donald Glover's 31 years old.
Yeah, he's too old for the role. And not to mention Miles Morales, isn't he supposed to be like 10 years old?
He's like 13.
Yeah.
When he takes up that's really young.
Yeah. And obviously they change. I mean, if you saw Big Hero 6,
Yeah, they just make him
They
slightly older.
they changed a lot of stuff about Big Hero 6.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can make Miles like slightly older because you'd have 13's really young
Yeah.
age.
But I think because they're going with Peter Parker, I think they're going to go,
Which
I
I'm
don't think
fine
they're
with
gonna
them
go
going
with
with Peter
Donald Glover.
Parker because I want Miles to be properly introduced.
Yeah.
I don't want him to be shoehorned in because he's a really good character. And so what I would like is you get a guy who plays Peter Parker for a few movies.
Yeah.
Once his contract's up and he doesn't want to do it anymore, then you have Miles come in and make Spider-Man a legacy character.
Yeah, well, and that brings up a good point is this gives them a chance to maybe introduce Spider-Man. Maybe he has like a role in a couple Marvel movies and maybe has 1, 2, or 3 of his own standalones, and then they could kill him off and introduce, somebody else. Or not kill him off, but like
Well, they do
he
kill
retires.
him off.
Or
Well, they killed him off in Ultimate Comics.
Yeah, it just depends on how grim they want to make it.
You can always bring him back through cloning or whatever. It's Marvel Comics. Nobody stays dead in Marvel Comics except for Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
It used to be Uncle Ben, Gwen Stacy, and Bucky or whatever. And Bucky came back and Gwen Stacy's done whatever. Uncle Ben's the only one who stays dead, really. But so that's why we're talking Peter Parker, because we know that's their plan is to go with Peter Parker. And I do want to see Miles introduced eventually.
Yeah.
But I think because I really like the character, I just think that to properly do it without, because I feel like if you just have make it Miles right away, you're kind of like shoehorning him in, and it might like make things kind of weird. I want to see Miles' proper origin, where he's inspired by Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and after his death, decides, man, this guy was a great hero and he did so much with what he was given. I need to, be like him. And that's kind of what it is in the comics.
Does Miles have super
spider
abilities?
powers?
Yeah.
Yes, he's bitten by a different spider. Yeah.
All right.
What are you?
All right, Marvel.
Well, it was all Ultimate Comics.
Yeah.
So here's what Miles's quick rundown of Miles' origin. His uncle steals stuff from Oscorp. One of the Oscorp genetically engineered spiders comes in, sneaks into the house where Miles is hanging out. Miles gets bitten by a spider. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Miles is also really genius like Peter Parker too, and he also develops slightly different spider powers. So he doesn't have any webs that he shoots, but he's got spider sense, wall crawling. He also has like stingers, or he calls them like venom blasts.
Yeah.
Where he can like tase his enemies, and he has a camouflage that kind of turns him invisible. So he's got extra spider powers. So it'd be interesting, but I would like to see him introduced later on to make Spider-Man a legacy character.
Yeah.
So instead of like trying to like recast Peter Parker, recast somebody, have him die, and then you have Miles take over, a different character take over the same mantle.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
I liked him a lot. I think he's perfect.
I thought he was the perfect role. He was the perfect person for Peter Parker.
Yeah. He was a good Spider-Man.
He doesn't take things too seriously until the moment he actually has.
He can play smart too.
Yeah.
I think the problems with the Amazing Spider-Man movies was not in any way Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
It was everything else.
Yeah. But do you think Andrew Garfield even wants to reprise the role?
No, not after how
he's
messed up things were with Sony, and he didn't like that way that Sony did what they did with the movies.
Yeah.
Because Andrew Garfield's his lifelong dream was to be Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
He was a huge Spider-Man fan. So like that was like a big thing for him. And he kind of got upset that Sony kind of screwed it up.
Yeah.
So like he was like, not showing up to meetings with Sony because he's like, screw you guys. He's just pissed.
Yeah.
So I mean, but Andrew Garfield's a good actor, and I want him to get more roles doing other things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so which of these two? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either one of them.
Okay, so I'll tell you my opinion. I think that Dylan O'Brien would make the better Spider-Man out of these two.
He looks more like Peter Parker.
Nothing against Logan Lerman. I think he's a really good actor, but I think Dylan O'Brien, his character in Teen Wolf is he's got a lot of qualities similar to Spider-Man, where like he's smart. He's kind of like a smart ass at the same time.
Yep.
and he's kind of got like a bravado, like he's kind of full of himself at some points, which I think is important for Spider-Man.
But Spider-Man also has that little bit of
overconfident.
humility at the same
Yeah,
time too.
but it's just he comes in thinking, yeah, I can totally do this, and then gets his ass beat and goes, holy shit,
I need to like work on things.
But
well, so is he the guy in Maze Runner?
Yeah, he's
so
the guy
isn't he going to be tied up in the Maze Runner franchise? Like maybe he might be too busy for Spider-Man.
Maybe, but no offense, the Maze Runner, it did well financially, I think, but I don't think it did well critically. I think he would be.
You think they're still going to do the sequel?
Oh yeah, they definitely will because it sold enough. You break every pen I have. What is wrong with you?
I'll fix it.
God.
The destroyer of
pens. Yeah. But I think much like Felicity Jones with Star Wars, like I think he would be a fool not to take up Spider-Man.
Yeah, be like, oh, Maze Runner. Yeah, you're okay, but Spider-Man is where it's at.
I mean,
that'll launch
Spider-Man
that could launch his career from here to here.
Yeah, Spider-Man is one of those roles that you should be willing to break other contracts to get into. Like it's one of those. Right. It's really prestigious, and especially with Marvel having their hands in the production, even if it's only a little bit. I think the movie will do really well. I think the series will do well, and I think his character will do well in the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
I think it'll be. I can't wait.
Yeah,
dude, next year is gonna be such a year for comic book movies.
Yeah. Well, it's like for a while I was thinking, man, it'd be really cool to have X-Men in the Marvel universe, but it's like no,
X-Men doesn't need to be.
I think it's too many characters, and it's too. I feel like even the comics, Marvels and Avengers, when they cross over, it feels like kind of
too much.
Yeah, it feels like it's too forced.
I read the X-Men versus Avengers crossover, and I was like, this is just too much going on. Right
yeah. I think X-Men is fine. It works in its own universe.
Yes, there's so many characters with X-Men too. Like I think I said before, what Fox could do is you have the X-Men movies, and those could be like their like Marvel's Avengers films, and then you can spin off all the other X-Men characters into their own things.
I just think they need to focus on characters other than Wolverine.
Yeah,
I mean he's a good character, but I'm a little sick of Wolverine.
Yeah, I think we can agree. Cyclops is my favorite X-Men. Nobody else agrees with me.
I like him in the comics. I like him in the.
He's good in the comics.
In the TV shows, I do not like.
In him in the movies was bad.
Yeah, in the movies he was bad, but we'll see because they're doing the casting. So
hopefully they focus more on his character. But yeah, let's get back to Spider-Man. I'll fix it.
What else?
Since this is a Spider-Man only episode, because no news this week could top Spider-Man. We're only talking Spider-Man because Matt and I can talk about Spider-Man for 45 minutes.
Yeah. And
that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So we got I don't know those guys.
Yeah.
Each of those two doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I think Dylan O'Brien would make the better Spider-Man. And this I think it was from maybe the Hollywood Reporter. That's where the rumor came from for the casting. But they said that they were in early talks, so nothing is concrete yet. They haven't. I'm assuming they haven't cleared stuff. You know, like you said, Dylan O'Brien might be tied up with the Maze Runner sequels, but they might already. I mean, I don't know where they are in filming. With
how many Maze Runners are there even?
I don't know. The books are terrible. Me and Ashley read the synopsis.
There's some young adult novel books. I'm done with that genre.
Well, we saw the movie. Really good visual effects. The acting wasn't terrible, but the story was just horrendous. It was so far-fetched and unbelievable. It was painful to watch. And then we looked up the synopsis of the books, and it's the books. It's not the movie. Like the books are just
not good.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the movie. I just watched the honest trailer for it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, that's all I need to know about that movie. That's done. Yeah.
So we already talked about this, that we think he's probably going to appear in Civil War. That's where they introduce him.
It makes more sense.
I don't know how I don't know how much they're going to go into it, because I think if, like I said, a little bit of Spider-Man goes a long way, because he will take the entire movie if they give him the chance to.
Mm-hmm. They need to pepper him in finally, like a nice seasoning.
I think it'd be really smart to introduce him like maybe in the beginning of the movie, or like early on in the movie, like I said, on a TV in the background. You just see webs like something Mass Vigilante or something like
They have
that.
like a
in New
short
York.
montage, and you see like Daily Bugle, like Webbed Menace or something.
Well, and
like
then
that.
as the movie progresses, and then you have Iron Man for the registration of superheroes, and then Captain America against, then you could see him maybe voice his opinion one way or the other, or maybe I don't know. I mean, I don't know where they're going to take this.
I would
but
like to
I'm
see him
super
torn
excited.
between both sides.
Yeah.
Or maybe Spider-Man will end up on Captain America or Iron Man's side. Maybe Black Panther will end up on the other side.
Yeah, I mean that might be a good way to keep
Kind of build up
balance.
their teams a little bit.
Yeah, but I just think Black Panther, because he's going to be an older character, like more comparable to Captain America and Iron Man.
Yeah.
That he'll probably have more weight, especially because isn't he's like a king or something like that.
He's the king of Wakanda.
Yeah, so he's gonna have a lot more weight to throw around than some kid from Brooklyn,
Queens,
whatever.
Just gotta drop my
drop
my nerd knowledge on you real quick. There.
All right. We're just about 30 minutes in. What else do we have to talk about Spider-Man? Is there anything else?
Let's talk about the character of Spider-Man. What we want to see Spider-Man be like in these movies.
I think how they were having Andrew Garfield in Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. I think that was perfect. I think
he needs to be smart. I think they didn't in the one thing with Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, they didn't
kind of showed they definitely didn't show in the originals as his genius.
Yeah.
He develops these web shooters himself. Comes up with the fluid. He's always changing the fluid,
Yeah.
To fit like his certain villains. He's he comes up with spider trackers, which before we had like GPS locators and everything, because now you could just go out and buy it. Back then though, he invented like spider trackers to track his enemies and stuff. He's just really smart. They need to focus on. So like I'd like to see him where he's meeting Iron Man. He knows what Iron Man's talking about when Iron Man's speaking smart stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he could totally nerd out. I think the first Spider-Man series, the Sam Raimi one, made Peter Parker too nerdy.
Nerdy, but not smart. They just made him a dork.
They made him too nerdy. And then the Amazing Spider-Man, I don't think they made him too cool, because besides the really early Spider-Man comics, Spider-Man's always kind of like a good-looking person.
But he's just a loner. He's not really like a super nerdy, like ugly guy. He's just he's just awkward. He's just a smart, awkward dude.
Hopefully third time's a charm. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you meant to say?
Yeah, I can't speak.
I'm really thirsty right now. I'm drinking pop and it's not helping.
Yeah. Yeah, what else? I mean, yeah, I think he should be smart.
Yep.
I think he should be witty.
Hey.
Oh, I didn't see them.
He should get rid of the romance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to have Gwen Stacy. Maybe this is where they bring Shailene Woodley in.
No.
Yeah?
I don't want her as Mary Jane.
I don't either, but maybe this is where they bring her in.
No. Just no. Anything else?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, that's all for the Spider-Man rumors and news and discussion, really.
Yeah,
we talked about
pretty much it.
Who could be cast and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, some white kid.
Yeah,
will be cast as Spider-Man, but that doesn't mean we won't ever get Miles.
Yeah,
because I wanted to get Miles eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I think there's a few other things that happen in movies that we should cover real quick.
Yeah,
we have time. What were you telling me earlier?
Neil Blomkamp was saying that Fox wants to go ahead with his version of Aliens. I think it's a standalone movie within the Aliens universe. Let's see if I can pull up the article. But so if you don't know, like a month ago, it was a month ago, Neil Blomkamp, which is the director of District 9 and Chappie and Elysium. He released some photos on like Instagram and Twitter of these like this concept art for Alien, and he was saying that if he did it, he would do it a lot differently than the last couple of movies. It'd be more akin to the original Alien movie, be a lot more like a horror suspense. But he was basically saying Fox wants to go ahead with it, But he doesn't know if like he has time or like it's up to him whether or not the movie gets
Right.
made.
He's,
Like him to
I
start.
heard that he really wants to just keep doing a lot of his own stuff.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he does weird movies. It's
Yeah, weird movies with political messages.
yeah.
Sci-fi movies with. So
I think it'd be sweet
it'd
though.
probably be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I never really was super into the alien movies.
No, I mean,
So
I saw them, but I didn't.
I've seen Alien. That's it.
Oh, I think I've seen all of them, all of the Alien movies, and all of the Predator movies.
Wow.
I watch a lot of movies.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not really into Predator or Alien that much. So
Yeah.
Don't really care. What else do we have? Was that the only other bit of news that happened this week?
Gina Carano.
Was Angel Dust in Deadpool.
Yeah, it was cast as Angel Dust in Deadpool. So the actress is set to play Angel Dust, who in the comics is part of the Morlocks, an underground mutant group. The outlet also reports that Russian mutant Colossus will appear in the film. So that was from IGN.
So like my X-Men is like Cyclops, then Colossus.
Yeah.
So to see him maybe actually get some speaking roles would be pretty cool. Because every time we've seen him in the X-Men movies, he just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But turn metal and throw people. That's all he does. So
yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing, David Cross's movie Hits, his directorial debut, is officially released on BitTorrent bundles. For
cool.
Pay What You Want. It's $1 minimum for the movie, and then you get a bunch of extras. There's like behind the scenes and photos and whatnot. So
that'd be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever talked about what it's about.
No, I never even heard about it.
So it's kind of like it's a satirical film on like internet fame.
Yeah.
It follows like I think it's somebody from Minnesota is who it's supposedly following. It's a YouTube, like a female who's a YouTube star. And it's like kind of this ridiculous path to fame through the internet and social media and stuff like that.
Cool.
But yeah.
Oh yeah. Like we said, it was all Spider-Man this week.
Oh, and rumor. Joel Kinnaman in talks for Rick Flag role.
He's from what movie was he from?
I don't know off the top of my head.
He was in a recent action movie.
He was in
RoboCop. That's what it was.
His face looked familiar. Yeah.
For Rick Flag.
For Rick Flag.
Huh. Interesting.
I mean, he fits the body type. He fits I mean, he'd have to buff up a little bit, but
yeah.
And he did RoboCop, so he's not opposed to playing
I don't think
roles.
I really care who gets cast as Rick Flag.
Yeah.
I liked the Tom Hardy idea, and then they decided Tom Hardy couldn't do it or didn't want to.
He didn't want to do it because they supposedly were playing down the character.
Well, that was the rumor. He said he was too busy with Revenant to do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
They got a pretty good cast already.
Yeah.
So should be interesting.
All right. We should wrap this baby up so we got enough time to record the final couch.
We're gonna go see the Kingsman after this.
Yeah,
we're really excited about that.
Directly after this.
We're gonna just keep going as fast as we can because we got a movie to make.
Yeah. So if they want to find us on social media, where should they go?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Scotty Boy. That's BWO 4 Ys.
3 Ys was taken.
He just likes that so
I do
much.
love that. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hagnerd, HAGNERD. You can follow Fuzzy Loaf on Twitter at Fuzzy Loaf.
Comment, give us a like, subscribe. Please tell us, give us some feedback. Join the conversation. If you got any thoughts, let us know. Or if you have anything you want us to talk about, hit us up and tell us to talk about it. Because we might.
We might. Maybe.
Probably.
That's our slogan. We might.
We might. All right. See ya.